WTKR News 3 at 11 starts now.
The race on everyone's minds. Who will be the next president of the United States?
Tonight, we're following through, tracking the latest projections in the race for the White House.
And we're tracking the results as they come in real time using our exclusive heat mapping technology.
Plus, the latest numbers for the Senate and 2nd Congressional race in Virginia.
Plus, our crews live on the ground in Virginia and North Carolina as voters make their voices heard.
The big races we're tracking in our region, and hear from political analysts as the numbers continue to roll in.
It's Election Day on WTKR News 3 as America Votes 2024.
You are watching a special election edition of News 3 at 11. Projected races are being called as the final results roll in.
We are following through on top of tracking it all, the race for the White House and races important to us here in Hampton Roads. Your decision will determine America's future.
And we continue our team coverage with the latest updates from across Hampton Roads all the way down to Raleigh, North Carolina.
With all eyes on the 2nd Congressional District race in Virginia Beach, America also watching North Carolina closely. The battleground state could decide who sits in the Oval Office.
All right, so we want to get to the presidential race because that is what a lot of people are talking about right now. As both sides await a final decision, News 3's Brendan Ponton, our senior political reporter, is tracking the numbers across the U.S.
Brendan is using an exclusive technology to track those numbers. So, Brendan, where do things stand now?
Well, we know that our data partners, Decision Desk HQ, have called Virginia for Kamala Harris and North Carolina for Donald Trump. And this is a look right now here at Donald Trump and Kamala Harris in North Carolina. And it appears right now that Donald Trump has about a 2.9% lead, representing about 140,000 vote lead. And so we can zoom in here to our area. And we know that Pasquotank County has been very narrowly split in the past. Right now, Donald Trump carrying it by a sizable margin, 796 votes, but about a 15% margin. So this was a state that was the most narrow victory for Donald Trump in 2020. This year, at the moment, he is winning by a bigger percentage than he did in 2020. So right now, things looking good for Donald Trump in North Carolina, which was considered one of those key battleground states. But we know other votes are still being counted in other states, and we're going to stay on top of the race as it develops. Guys.
Thank you, Brendan. We're going to continue to talk about the Tar Heel State, where one major, in addition to the presidential race being called there by our data partners, another major statewide race there has been called.
With over 52% of the votes, it appears Josh Stein will be North Carolina's next governor. Let's bring in News 3's Margaret Kavanaugh joining us live from downtown Raleigh tonight in the Capitol.
All right, so Margaret, where exactly are you and what's the mood where you are?
Yeah, we've been all over downtown Raleigh. We just left Stein's party a few minutes ago. It was also the Democratic Party, and it was a very good time for a lot of the people that were in there celebrating. Projected winner, Democrat Josh Stein, is expected to go from being the Attorney General to the next governor of North Carolina. Take a look at what it looked like inside that party. His supporters were there gathering, cheering at the Marriott in downtown Raleigh for that victory party. Stein spoke to his supporters from the podium. Hundreds gathered for this. Lots of positive energy, dancing, and loud music. Now, in the beginning, this race between Stein and Republican Lieutenant Governor Mark Robinson was supposed to and expected to be close, but that changed. Stein had more financial support and more backing, and in the end, prevailed.
Decency over division. That's who we are as North Carolinians. And I am so honored that you have elected me to be your next governor.
I want to give thanks to my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ.
Robinson sparked controversy with remarks about women, abortion, and race. Then a CNN report came out claiming he made inappropriate online comments about a decade ago. Now, he said that that was not true and filed a lawsuit. In the end, experts say those things worked against him. Now, Governor Ray Cooper ran 2 successful terms, but he was not eligible to run again. He was at that party earlier tonight. Live in downtown Raleigh, Margaret Kavanaugh, News 3.
Margaret, thank you. We now want to bring in our 2 political analyst right here from Hampton Roads.
We are joined by Dr. Eric Claville from Norfolk State University and Dr. Jesse Richmond from Old Dominion University. One thing I want to talk about here, we're looking at North Carolina, and North Carolina projected to have elected a Democratic governor, projected to have elected or voted for former President Trump, a Republican. What does that say about seeing a state move in two different directions like that?
Well, it tells us that all politics is local. So it tells us that the voters are listening to the messages, and they are split on how they want their state governed and how they want their country governed as well. Now, again, as it was stated earlier, the scandal and the issues of the lieutenant governor, who was a candidate for governor for the Republican side, those things did hurt him. But at the end of the day, it does show that voters locally are paying attention to the issues, and the national issues sometimes are not the same.
Dr. Richmond, from what you have seen so far tonight, whether it's local or whether it's national, I mean, what is standing out the most to you?
Well, so I think what we're seeing tonight is a better night for Donald Trump than he had in 2020. It's not clear that it's as good as his night in 2016. And so in the liminal space,
stronger in Virginia, for example, than I think a lot of people were expecting.
That's true, but one of the things we've learned in the last few years in elections is that you really have to dig down into several categories of votes reporting, because we're voting in several different ways now. And so there's still a lot of vote by mail out. There's still a lot of early vote out in some of the larger areas that are probably leaning towards Harris. So as that vote comes in, I think we're going to see it moving towards a stronger lead for Harris. I don't know when that vote will come in exactly. It's taking a while in some places.
Wow, Dr. Jesse Richmond from Old Dominion University, Dr. Eric Claville from Norfolk State University. You guys have been hanging out with us for the better part of the day. We appreciate your analysis and perspective.
All right, and I think we're going to check back in with you guys in a little bit moment for just a broader picture of what's happening in Hampton Roads. Bringing us back right now to Hampton Roads, early voting hit record numbers in Virginia this election cycle, but polls were still busy today across the region, and you could still see voters steadily earlier in the day rolling in to cast their ballot.
You can see some long lines earlier tonight at Phoebus High School in Hampton. It's one of the busiest of the 30 polling locations across the city. It's a polling place for students at Hampton University. Here you can see buses taking people to and from the HU campus tonight. And now we are moving to look at a Senate race to watch here in Virginia.
All right, our Party Cruz joins us now and bringing us with the latest figures on what's happening and what's going on with the race between incumbent Tim Kaine and challenger Hung Kao.
Yeah, hey, Kurt and Jessica. So this is one of the two races that all Virginians had on their ballots today. Now, as of this moment right now, Decision Desk headquarters is projecting Tim Kaine to win his re-election bid, fending off a challenge from GOP challenger Hung Kao. Now, the latest numbers are showing Kaine leading in the polls with almost 53% compared to Kao's 48%. Now, we have a 99% reporting now. Now, Kaine has worked in Virginian politics for decades, serving as the mayor of Richmond, lieutenant governor, and even governor at some point. Now, just minutes ago, Kaine spoke at his rally at the Hippodrome in Richmond, thanking his wife of nearly 40 years, his Senate staff, his campaign team, among others. He said it's going to be a long night, but he's glad he gets to continue the work he's been doing in Virginia.
And so we've got some hours to go to see what happens in Pennsylvania and Wisconsin and Michigan and other states. But if we can do it here, we can do it in this country. I just want to thank you for trusting me to be somebody who will walk side by side with you.
Now, this would be Tim Kaine's third term. Kurt, Jessica, back to you.
Pari, thank you for keeping an update and following through on that big race. Another key race we are watching tonight is the fight for Virginia's 2nd congressional district seat.
Yeah, News 3 reporter John Hood live at incumbent Republican candidate Jen Kagan's watch party.
Okay, John, how are things looking there? What's the mood like?
Yeah, hey, Kurt and Jess. Well, we have not seen Jen Kagan just yet. But as of right now, we did hear from Sheriff Rocky Holcomb just a few minutes ago. He took to the stage announcing that he has enough votes to win, but not declaring his victory yet when it comes to the Virginia Beach Sheriff's position. But as you can see behind me, people are kind of out here enjoying the music, enjoying the food, enjoying the vibe as they continue to watch the national race play out. And we have not heard from Jen Kiggins just yet. Earlier, we did hear from Virginia Attorney General Jason Yares and the Lieutenant Governor Winsome Sears. Both state officials thanked the crowd for their support, and the Lieutenant Governor talked about looking forward.
They must have a hope. They must have a future. They must have a good education. It is their turn soon to preserve America for the next generation. That's what this is about. Make no mistake.
Now, again, we have yet to hear from Jen Kiggins or see her take the stage. I'm told by her team they're still waiting for more votes to come in. But as soon as we learn more information, we'll be sure to update you. Live in Virginia Beach, I'm John Hood, News 3.
All right, John, thank you very much. So we now want to head over to another part of Virginia Beach where Representative Kiggins' challenger is also watching for the newest number.
Our Leandra Head takes us there as Missy Cotter Smazel's watch party at the Delta Marriott waterfront. Leandra, what is the mood like there?
Well, Jessica, I can tell you that the mood has died down significantly compared to like an hour ago. Now, numbers have slowly dwindled compared to an hour ago. An hour ago, this room was filled with well over 100 people. Now, I was told by Smazel's campaign team that she is in the building. She's in the hotel room upstairs with her family, but she's contemplating on coming down to address her supporters. If you want to just pan around the room just to show the room, not as many people here as compared to an hour or two ago when this room was completely filled. But Smazel is in the building. She is contemplating on coming down tonight to address her supporters. Her team says that she's waiting on more precincts to report their poll numbers before addressing her supporters. Now, Smazel's team says not all mail-in votes have been counted in Virginia Beach, and they believe those votes are crucial in this race. Now, well over 160 ballots have been counted so far in several precincts. So far, Republican Jen Kiggins, she's the incumbent. She has the lead so far in this race. So far, Isla White, Franklin, and Suffolk have reported their votes. That's according to the state's election website. Stay with News 3 as these election results continue to come in. Live in Virginia Beach, I'm Leandra Head, News 3.
And after the break, the latest projections in some of our local mayoral races. That's still to come on this special election edition of News 3 at 11.